I am rolling through Prineville, Oregon. I haven't been up in this part of Oregon in probably about 12 years, and back then it was just coming through as a tourist. Today, I'm finally on my way to a real adventure. So this is going to become a solo backcountry adventure, but for the first couple of days, I'm actually meeting up with a bunch of my cousins from all over the West Coast: Washington, Idaho, California. My cousin David, who has a long history of getting out onto dirt roads, organized this cousins reunion and located a promising area in Northeast Oregon where we could converge. So in this video, I'll be meeting up with my cousins and camping for a few days alongside the river out in sort of the Northeastern Oregon backcountry. After that, I'll be headed off onto solo adventure to some other interesting places. When the trip was planned, there was no way to know that this weekend is looking like it's going to be record heat in Oregon. It's only the end of June, and at the end of June you could just as easily run into rain. I'm not very fond of being out in the heat, and I lose motivation real quick to do stuff. Set up cameras, drive. So I think it's going to be a long week. We'll see how it goes. Too hot to even get out and set up a camera. I can't imagine biking in this heat. I'm not off pavement for long before I'm already stumbling upon some abandoned homesteads which are now within the National Forest. Alright, I think I've found the trail to the campsite. Our goal was to camp along the river. We'll see if David and Chris have scored us something nice. Most of my cousins have already arrived at what must be one of the prettiest campsites I've ever encountered, with a charming wild river winding through dramatic rocky hills. Dude, we're having a fantastic.
discovered that the 12-volt outlets that came with my canopy are not delivering power, so I'm going to use a couple of Jackery's Solar Saga 100 panels to keep things charged up while sitting here in camp for a couple of days. I appreciate the portability and plug-and-play ease of the Solar Saga 100 panels. All I have to do is set them up and plug them directly into my Jackery power station. It's going to be hot this weekend, and I'm happy I don't have to worry about the week's worth of food in my fridge staying cold and fresh. Finally, Craig makes his arrival, and no, I'm not feeling out of place at all.
Figured out that they had a hard time buying. I pick up a lot of new sponsors. Come dish it up!
High heat and drought conditions have triggered a statewide campfire ban much earlier in the year than usual, but propane burning is still allowed, so we're able to enjoy a little evening ambiance as we catch up. Before it gets any hotter, I want to walk back up the road and check out something I noticed on the way in. I'm not exactly sure what this little underground structure was originally. My guess is that there was a homestead here at one point, and this may have been a root cellar, though I've also heard of structures like this actually being used for habitation. Some additional clues that someone used to live here are these old, overgrown fruit trees. Can't quite tell if they're apple or pear. They're definitely not native and had to have been planted by whoever lived here ages ago.
Yeah. Well, no, you're gonna break them off. Half scrambled.
So it's Saturday afternoon, it's about 100 degrees out here. This has pretty much been our afternoon, sitting around in the shade, catching up, occasionally getting wet in the river.
Mike has managed to find minuscule specks of gold among the much more abundant and visible flakes of iron pyrite lining the river.
That line of little tiny particles right there.
500. I know, but we always. Bought that hard.
After dinner, it's finally cooled down enough to be a little active, and our cornhole tournament carries on into the night.
5-0. 4. 5.
Slide it up to knock him over. Clearly.
Yeah!
Got one after all of that. 11-10.
Morning. It's really beautiful here. It's just an unbelievable little spot. If you watch my channel for any amount of time, you know that very often in the morning I like to get up, hike around, explore the area that I'm in. And this area here would be no exception. There's a nice little trail that goes down along the river. All kinds of things to discover as you follow the river. But on the first day here, my cousin David was walking up this trail and stumbled on a rattlesnake. So I have not explored that trail. It's completely overgrown with grass, and you just can't see what's there. In an open rocky area where one might be more inclined to expect to stumble across a rattlesnake, you've got sort of a better chance of seeing them. But here, I mean, he came very, very close to stepping on it. It was head up, rattling, and if he hadn't spotted it, he may have even gotten bit. So can't take that chance out here. So it's Sunday morning. I haven't had to do any cooking so far yet on this trip because we decided that each cousin would take one meal, and so someone made dinner Friday night, someone else made breakfast Saturday morning, lunch, dinner. It's now Sunday morning. It's now my turn to make breakfast. So I figured we'd be eating pretty well over the course of all of those meals, and we did. I planned a breakfast that is sort of on the lighter side. So I've got some plain yogurt along with some mango chobani yogurt. Cut up some nectarine and some strawberries. I've also got some raspberries. And I've got a bunch of Grizzlies granola to top it with. So this is Grizzlies cardamom cranberry paleo granola. And so it's completely grain-free. It's just nuts and seeds and dried fruit, and it is really delicious. Now normally it comes in a packet that looks like this. Grizzlies is sponsoring our breakfast this morning, so they provided a large quantity of this to me in bulk so I could make breakfast for all the guys. This is an unbelievably hearty, delicious mix, full of protein, and really you could just snack on it as trail mix as well. It is delicious.
On the washboard road.
Well, I guess it wouldn't be the first episode of a week-long overland trip without at least one thing going wrong. Thought I was going to make it through this one, but my battery is dead. I'm not going to use the jump starter. I'll jump it off of one of those trucks, but every time I open the doors on this truck, the lights that shine into the bed of the truck turn on, and even when the doors get closed, those lights stay on for, I don't know, a number of minutes, unless I actually lock the truck and that shuts them off. Well, most of the time, I've got the doors open. I'm not thinking to lock the truck when I'm hanging around in camp. Apparently, those lights have spent so much time on over the past 2 days. Between those and the dome lights being on some of the time, the truck won't start. So once I'm out solo, I'm gonna have to be very careful about making sure that I'm keeping those lights off. Hopefully the battery will be fine once it's charged back up, and I'll be able to get through the rest of the trip without any issues. All right, everyone else is gone. We got my truck running. I'm gonna head off towards the next leg of my voyage, and my cousin Craig is actually gonna join me for the next day and for tonight before he heads back to Idaho tomorrow. So that is the end of this episode, and stay tuned next week to see what happens next. Thanks for watching.